Hello, this is Lucas. Welcome to another CSS video. In this video, I'm going to show you how we can design a nice little drop-down menu. So in the last video, we went over how we can create a navigation bar. So this is what we came up with. It's just a basic navigation bar. But now, let's say we want to add a few more options in our nav bar, but we don't want to add any more, like in our main navigation. So what we're going to do is we're going to hover over, let's say we'll hover over profile, and it's going to give us a couple more options. So this is where we left off in the last video, but yeah, we're going to be adding on to this now. So to start off, so this is the one that we're going to be creating a drop-down menu for. So to start off, I guess we can actually, I'm just going to remove this for now, and we're just going to create it from scratch. So we'll do the same thing. We need to have a list element, and then we're going to create a class now. And we're going to name this class some easy, like drop-down, I guess. That's a very easy one to know. So we've got new class. Actually, we do not need this here. So yeah, class, drop-down. And then we can close it. Okay. Now, there's a couple of things that we need to add in here. So firstly is the link. So we're going to do a href. And we are going to target... what we're going to do is we're going to do a Java script void like this, and then we're going to pass in just a number 0. The class here we are going to name, let's see, we'll just do drop, we'll do drop button for example, and then we will do profile here, right, profile. Then obviously we have to close the link that we create here, and now we are going to create a div that's going to contain our other 3 links. So we'll do a href, and then I'm not going to pass in, I guess we can pass in a few values. So the first one we can go with is like a count, and then we will close that, we'll go count. And then we need to obviously close that link as well. And I'm just going to copy and paste this 3 times, or 2 more times. This one can be something like log out. This one can log out. This one can be something like settings. And then we'll just change these as well. We don't actually need to change these, but I will. I don't know why this is a capital. And then last one, this will be just a log out. Obviously then we need to close our div, so we need to actually create a div firstly. So in here we're gonna create a div. So this is just before our 3 options that we have. We're gonna create a div with a class, and we're gonna name this class, I don't know, something like drop-down content. Okay, drop-down content. And then obviously here we're gonna have to close the div, and in here we're gonna have to close our list element that we declared here. So we haven't done that yet. So, and there we go. And then just to make it look a bit more neat, let's indent this, and we don't do it just like that. And just like that, we have our options here. So at the moment, if we save it, refresh this, this is what we have now. So obviously it's not gonna look like this. These 3 will be the exact same. This will not be here, but they will appear whenever we hover over the profile. So let's get started with our CSS. So the very first thing we need to do is we have a few things set here for every single link in our list, but we also now need to add in, we need to do drop button, because we have another link here with that class. So obviously it has to be a full stop because it's a class, and yeah, that's the link as well, so that's why we need to add it in here as well, because it's just the same thing. So far nothing happens, you know, it's literally just the exact same, but now we have this hover thing here, so we also need to add it into here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do drop down this time, drop down. We're going to do a hover, So if we hover over this, and then we're going to do a drop button, just like that. Okay. Obviously, once again, we refresh this. Not really too much, but yeah, you can see we are still hovering over this profile technically whenever we do that. So that's what that adds. Okay, you can see I'm not hovering over the profile, but still acting as if it's hovered. But it doesn't do the same for any of the other elements. So that's what that does. Now we need to actually design. We need to remove this and just make it look good. So we can keep adding stuff in. So we're gonna do li just for the list elements. Then we're gonna do a drop down because we're gonna be targeting just the drop down elements here, right? Just this one. We don't need to target these ones. And what we're gonna do here is we're gonna do display. Inline, I think it's just inline block. That's my bad. Inline block. Okay. Go back here. Not really changes at the moment. We don't need it to change. But now what we're going to do is we're going to target the actual links here. So these ones here. Okay. So we're going to do the drop down. We're going to do content, right? Drop down content. So you can see we're targeting this class, okay, that has all of our 3 options in. Now in here we're just going to change just a couple of colors, like I'll change this to black, the text color. I will also add padding in just like we did up here, okay. So I'll just copy it, to be honest, to be simpler. We'll just do 14 and 16 just like we have above. Text decoration, obviously this will be none. We'll also need to display this in a block. Yep, in a block, and then just text align to the left. This is kind of done already, to be honest, but I just want to do it again. So yeah, that's done, and we're targeting the link here, okay. Now the next thing that we are going to be doing is we are targeting the actual links, but now we want to target this class as well, because so at the moment what we have is we go back here. This is what we have, okay. So we have this black, and then we just changed a couple of colors. We added a bit of padding, not too much. But now in here we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do drop down content, but we're not going to target the link. Okay, we're not going to target the link. Instead we're going to just target the actual class here. So now we have to do display. We're going to have none, because at the moment, if you see, well, at the moment you see that this is displayed, but we don't want to display. So by adding none, you can see that we make it disappear. Obviously we don't actually have anything for it to display again, but now we did actually not display it. Position is absolute. We'll change the background color of this to, we'll do F9, F9, F9. The min width, the minimum width, we'll change this to 160 pixels. We'll do a box shadow just to make it look nice. So we'll do box shadow. We'll do 0 pixels. We'll do 8 pixels, 16 pixels. We'll do 0 pixels on this side. We'll change the color, so RGBA. The colors that we want is 0, 0, and then the opacity will be 0.2, like that. Okay, and then the very last thing we need that I went over a couple of videos ago is the Z index, and we'll just set this to 1. Okay, as easy as that. Because it's set to none, you won't actually be able to see anything that we did. Right, and now, but the very last thing is the hover. So something that we wanted to display whenever we hover over it. So what we're going to do is we're going to do drop down content. Okay, we're going to do a hover. So whenever we hover over the link of this, so whenever we hover over this, it will be displayed. Well, whenever we hover over this, it will be displayed. Sorry. And then all we'll do is whenever we hover over it, we'll just change the background color, and I'll just change it to what we wanted to. We'll do something like F1. That's a nice color. Okay, and now the very last thing that we need to do is whenever we actually hover over everything, so we can actually display it. Because at the moment, even if you hover over it, if you go back, you can see nothing happens. So we need to actually display whenever we hover over it. So that's what we're going to do now. So we're going to do a drop down, and then we're going to do hover. So this is whenever we hover over this one here. But what we want to do is whenever we hover over this, if we leave this, for example, it will stop hovering. So whenever we leave this to go to the other elements that are displayed, we need to keep this displayed. So whenever we hover over the drop down or the drop down content, so we go drop down content, we just want to display it, and we can just do a simple display block. We can save that, go to our web page, refresh this, and you can see we get a nice little couple more options, you know, because we don't want to have, you know, another 3 options, because we have 3 options here. We don't want another 3, you know, with account settings and logo, so we can group them all under a profile. So we have account, settings, and logo. So that's about it for the CSS dropdown. I hope this video has helped. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.